The anime begins with a man being examined at a headquarters, where it is seen that the man's back is injured. According to them, a tool called Mecha-ude had been taken from him. So without that tool, Mecha-ude users will not be able to survive long. They suspected that the attacker was a worm-type Mecha-ude user. Because the attacker was targeting someone else's Mecha-ude, they also assigned a woman named Aki Murasame to protect Mecha-ude called Alma. Mecha-ude is a mechanical hand that attaches to the user's body and gives them power. Elsewhere, there is a boy named Jun Kagami who is being chased by some of the delinquents of Mecha-ude users. Accidentally, Jun meets Aki, who is a quite famous twin Mecha-ude user. Casually, Aki moved Jun behind her and faced the group of delinquents while reading a book. However, when one of the thugs touched Aki's hair, she took out her twin Mecha-ude, and instantly, they also took out their Mecha-ude to attack her. With ease, she overthrew the entire delinquents so that Aki's prowess was able to make the head of the delinquents feel scared. Meanwhile, outside the building, there was a boy named Hikaru Amatsuga watching Aki in action. He is a Mecha-ude Alma user, even though he said he just accidentally found Alma, who until now was clinging to him. Seeing Aki being attacked, Alma invites Hikaru to help her, but he refuses and chooses to play on his cell phone. Because for Hikaru, whatever happens to Aki is none of his business, and it's better for him to go home immediately. Alma said that Aki had a mission to protect them, and when Hikaru saw that the head of the delinquent had fled, Alma immediately pulled Hikaru's body to chase the man. Hikaru and Alma continued to chase the man and asked him to give up, but they were both dropped by the head of the hoodlum from his motorbike. Not long after, Aki appeared and chased the man. She managed to stop his motorbike. Then Aki asked the man who the worm-type Mecha-ude user was. Aki threatens to kill all his members if the head of the hoodlum doesn't want to tell her, but the thugs didn't know who she was looking for. If he had known, he wouldn't have told her either. Hearing that, she immediately got angry and threw a container box at him, but her Mecha-ude instead held the box container, saying that the man really didn't know. Not long after, Aki's Mecha-ude found out that someone was hiding nearby. She immediately approached to see who was in there, and turns out that person was Jun. Aki asked why the delinquents were after him. Hikaru replied that maybe the thugs wanted to rob Jun and asked Aki to let him go. Kindly, Hikaru offered to take Jun home, but he refused Hikaru's offer, and they parted ways. The next day, Hikaru woke up late, so Alma woke him up rudely. Not long after, Aki appeared at Hikaru's window to ask him to go to school together. Arriving at school, it turns out that Hikaru and Aki are in the same class. Hikaru, who was sitting in the back corner, seemed to be asleep and lazing around during history and culture lessons. Seeing that, his male friend named Yoshirano woke him up. Not long after, someone threw a paper at him. Apparently, Aki asked Hikaru to accompany her on her mission. After school, they went to a playground because Aki wanted to keep looking for the worm-type Mecha-ude user until she found him. While buying a drink, Hikaru said that if her investigation was very important, wouldn't it be easier if he didn't come along? Aki then replied that she wanted to find the bad guy while taking care of Alma, and not to become a babysitter for Hikaru. Hikaru, who was too lazy to follow her, asked permission to go to the toilet. In fact, he intends to invite Alma to run away from her. After waiting for a while, Aki realized that Hikaru had tricked her and left through the other side of the toilet. She immediately looked for their whereabouts. While looking for them, a rogue person came up to her. Aki was surprised when she found out that the person was a worm-type Mecha-ude user. Aki immediately attacked the person and was surprised when she found out that the person's identity was Jun. Hikaru, who was hiding, suddenly got a message from Aki, but the message sent by her was a little strange because she threatened to kill him if he didn't want to come out. Not long after, he got a call from her. When he picked it up, it turned out that her cell phone had been stolen by Jun, a worm-type Mecha-ude user. Worse yet, it turns out that Jun has taken Aki's Mecha-ude and threatens to destroy it if Hikaru doesn't come to see him. He also asks Hikaru to hand over Alma in exchange for Aki's Mecha-ude, because the user will die immediately if the Mecha-ude on the user's body is removed. It is known that other Mecha-ude users can die without Mecha-ude because the tool is attached to their body parts, while Alma only stuck to Hikaru's clothes. Soon after, an old man named Urgus called him and told him that he had found Aki's body and examined her. Hikaru also asks about Aki's condition, but Urgus doesn't care about that and only cares about Alma's safety at this time. He also asked Hikaru not to act rashly looking for the worm-type Mecha-ude user. He tells him to hurry home to his house, and he will send someone to look after Hikaru and Alma. Hikaru then promised that he would not do anything reckless. However, Hikaru certainly wouldn't let Aki die just like that. Alma and Hikaru rushed to the agreed place. Alma then asked why Jun had the heart to do that to Aki. He replied that he wanted Alma or what is known as the trigger arm, where it is said that the human who gets the trigger arm will become a superhuman. Jun then attacked Hikaru using his worm. Alma also invites Hikaru to attack him with Alma's guidance. Luckily, he managed to dodge all of his attacks. Hikaru tried to counterattack, but the defense of the worm-type Mecha-ude was tough to penetrate. Arrogantly, Jun said if Alma was used by a coward like Hikaru, then the great Mecha-ude would be nothing. Feeling belittled, he looks angry and attacks again until he manages to suppress Jun. However, the Mecha-ude worm type allows the user to spread the effect to create their own area, then lock Hikaru in it. Not only that, it can also generate an electric field that makes Hikaru even more cornered. Jun tied Hikaru's body and Alma's until Jun managed to pull Alma out of Hikaru's clothes. Unexpectedly, Alma was able to move on his own and managed to free himself and then attacked Jun until he fell. Seeing this, he was confused because other Mecha-ude couldn't move on their own without the user. Hikaru, who seemed to be motionless, recalled his past when he first accidentally found Alma. Then he heard the words of someone who asked him to get back up. He regained his senses and immediately got up to grab Alma back. Unexpectedly, Hikaru was able to awaken the true power of the trigger arm. Seeing the incredible power of Alma, Jun wanted to get it even more. But this time, Hikaru had become really strong. He immediately attacked Jun, but Jun was still able to withstand his attack. Then Hikaru advanced until the two of them collided with strength from close range and managed to knock Jun down. Alma also praised Hikaru for defeating Jun until he was unconscious. Not long after, a man named Todo came. He said that finally, the two of them could meet and see Hikaru in person. He had also seen the power of the trigger arm, but he had not come to fight against Hikaru. Todo just wants to pick up Jun and will return Aki's Mecha-ude. Then he left carrying Jun, who was unconscious, saying that one day his messengers would come to Hikaru to repay him. Until the time came, Todo asked him to look after Alma. The next day, Hikaru went back to sewing his clothes to stick them with Alma. Not long after, Aki, who had recovered, came to meet them. She apologizes and thanks Hikaru for his help, and in exchange, she was willing to sew Hikaru's clothes. Aki has acknowledged Hikaru's strength and asked him to continue to protect Alma. Not long after, the headquarters summoned the two of them. Aki also forcibly dragged Hikaru to go there. The anime ends. The moral that can be learned is not to underestimate yourself, because other people can see the great potential in you.